Beloved child, I see you standing before a door that is not opened yet, wondering if I have forgotten your name. I see the way your hand has reached for the handle again and again, hoping that perhaps this time it would move, perhaps this time the answer would come, perhaps this time the silence would break. I see the weariness in your spirit when you have prayed with sincerity, waited with trembling hope, and still the door has remained closed before you. I know there are days when the delay feels heavier than you can explain. You look around and see others stepping into seasons you have prayed for. You see doors opening for them, opportunities arriving for them, answers coming quickly for them, and quietly within your heart you wonder, what about me? Have I done something wrong? Have I missed the moment? Has my prayer fallen to the ground unheard? Beloved child, I have heard every prayer. I have seen every tear that came after the Amen. I have listened to the questions. You were too tired to speak out loud. Do not mistake my silence for rejection. Do not mistake a closed door for my absence. I do not close what I should open, and I do not open what would harm you before its appointed time. The delay is not denial. The delay is held in my hand. It is protection when you cannot yet see what is on the other side. It is preparation when your heart is still being strengthened for what I am bringing. It is timing when the path, the people, the provision, and the purpose have not yet come into alignment. Do you see? A father does not withhold bread from his child because he has forgotten the child's hunger. Sometimes he waits because the meal is still being prepared. Sometimes he guards the child from something that appears good from a distance but carries sorrow hidden behind it. Sometimes he says, "Not yet," not because love is absent, but because love sees farther than desire can see. Beloved child, I know how painful it is to stand near a door you cannot open. I know how confusing it feels when your faith is still alive, but your circumstances have not changed. I know how your heart trembles when you begin to wonder whether waiting means losing. But hear me gently. Waiting with me is never wasted. Waiting with me is not abandonment. Waiting with me is not punishment. It is a holy place where I strengthen what is unseen, steady what is shaking, and prepare you to carry what you have asked me to release. As it is written, wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. I am not asking you to wait in emptiness. I am strengthening your heart while you wait. I am teaching your soul to breathe again. I am reminding you that the door is not your master, the timeline is not your master, and the opinion of others is not your master. I am your Father, and I have not lost the key. So if you are in a waiting season right now, let this be a small act of agreement in your heart, like this message, as a sign that you are choosing to trust me in the waiting. Subscribe for more messages of faith and patience, so your heart can continue to be strengthened in the quiet places. And write in the comments, Lord, I will wait for your appointed time. Let those words become more than a sentence. Let them become a surrender. Let them become a breath of faith, rising from the place where fear has tried to live. Beloved child, the door is not stuck. It is not forgotten. It is not beyond my reach. It is being opened in the right moment, when the heart, the path, and the protection are aligned. The door has not remained closed because I am absent. It has remained closed because I am guarding the appointed time. Beloved child, I do not lead you by pressure. I lead you by peace. Pressure will shout when I am whispering. Pressure will tell you that if you do not hurry, you will miss everything. Pressure will tell you to prove your faith by forcing the handle, pushing against the door, making something happen before your heart has heard my instruction. But my peace does not speak that way. My peace says, wait, breathe, trust, remain faithful. Take the step I have given you today and leave tomorrow in my hands. I have never placed your life in a race. I have never measured your obedience by how quickly you can run past your own weariness. I have never asked you to compare your pace with another child's path. The world counts speed as success, but I look at the heart. The world asks, how fast did you arrive? I ask, did you walk with me? Did you trust me when the way was slow? Did you remain tender when the answer had not yet appeared? Do you see? A soul can move quickly and still be led by fear. A soul can stand still and yet be deeply obedient. I know there are moments when rushing can look spiritual from the outside. You may call it faith, you may call it boldness, you may call it stepping out, but I see beneath the movement. I see when a step is born from trust, and I see when it is born from panic. I see when you are following my voice, and I see when you are trying to outrun uncertainty. I see when your hands are lifted in surrender, and I see when your hands are still trying to control the outcome, while your lips say, Lord, I trust you. Beloved child, do not be ashamed of this. I am not exposing your fear to condemn you. I am revealing it so I can free you. There is a kind of hurry that does not come from faith, but from the fear that I will not arrive in time. There is a kind of striving that does not come from obedience, but from the need to prove you are worthy of the door. There is a kind of forcing that does not come from courage, but from the ache of watching others move forward while you are still waiting. And I am gently calling you out of that burden. As it is written, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Not some of your ways, not only the parts that feel easy to release. In all thy ways, in the waiting, in the uncertainty, in the closed door, in the desire that still aches, in the unanswered question. Acknowledge me there, and I shall direct thy paths. I do not say that you must understand every path before you walk in peace. I say, trust me with all thine heart. The door will not open because you panicked enough. It will not open because you compared yourself enough. It will not open because you forced your way into a season that was not prepared for you. At the appointed time, the door will open because the season has come. And when I open it, you will not need to break yourself down trying to hold it open. My hand will establish what my wisdom releases. My peace will strengthen what my timing begins. So, breathe, beloved child. Let your shoulders loosen beneath the weight you were never meant to carry. You do not need to prove that you trust me by exhausting yourself. Sometimes the truest faith is not loud movement, but quiet surrender. Sometimes obedience looks like staying planted when everything in you wants to run ahead. Sometimes trust is simply saying, Father, I will not let pressure become my shepherd. I will wait for your peace. And if the desire in your heart is good, if the thing you have prayed for is beautiful, if the door seems connected to purpose, provision, healing, or calling, then you may wonder, why would I ask you to wait? Why would I allow a good longing to remain unanswered for a time? Beloved child, come closer and listen. Sometimes the desire is good, but the timing is not yet safe. Sometimes the door is real, but what waits beyond it must be guarded until you are ready and until the path is prepared. Beloved child, stay with me in this place for a little while, because what you have called a delay may be protecting you from something your eyes have not yet been able to see. You have looked at the closed door and measured it only by what you lost, what you missed, what did not arrive, what did not answer, what did not choose you, what did not open when you believed it should have opened. But I have been measuring it by what I was guarding you from. I have been measuring it by what would have happened if you had stepped through too soon. I have been measuring it by the hidden cost, the unseen pressure, the quiet drain, the connections that looked helpful but would have pulled your heart away from peace. I know you thought that opportunity was perfect. I saw what was hidden behind it. I heard the prayers you prayed before you knew what to ask. I heard you say, Lord, if this is from you, open the way. And I also heard the unspoken part beneath those words, the part that was afraid to lose something beautiful, the part that wanted an answer so badly that you were willing to call almost any open space a doorway. But beloved child, I do not only hear the prayer you speak. I hear the need beneath the prayer. I hear the ache beneath the need. I hear the future weight of what you are asking to carry, and I know when a thing that looks like blessing would become a burden before its appointed time. There were wrong connections that seemed right because they spoke the language of your longing. There were counterfeit opportunities dressed in the shape of your promise. There were places that would have applauded your gift while slowly weakening your soul. There were responsibilities that would have looked like promotion, but inside them was a pressure your heart was not yet strengthened to bear. There were doors that looked beautiful from the outside, polished with possibility, bright with attention, filled with words that made your hope rise, but beyond them was a room where your peace would have been quietly drained day after day. Do you see why I did not open them? Not because I despised your desire, not because I wanted to watch you ache, not because I was withholding love from you. I was withholding what would wound you before you were ready. I was withholding what would confuse your calling. I was withholding what would make you tired in a way sleep could not heal. I was withholding what would attach your identity to approval that could not sustain you. I was withholding what would ask your spirit to live in constant striving. while your mouth tried to call it faith. Beloved child, some things are not evil in themselves, but they are not yours in this season. Some doors are not wicked, but they are not appointed. Some invitations are not false to everyone, but they are false for you, because they would pull you away from the rhythm I have been teaching your heart. A coat may fit another child and still be too heavy for your shoulders. A road may be right for another servant and still not be the path I have marked for your feet. This is why comparison wounds you so deeply. You look at another person walking through a door and think, if they entered, why not me? But I know the frame of every soul. I know the timing of every harvest. I know what each heart can carry, and I do not measure your path against theirs. I see how painful it was when the connection faded. I see how confusing it felt when the answer changed. I see how your heart tried to make sense of the silence after you had already imagined the future. I see the tears that came when you had to release something you had quietly begun to love, and I am not dismissing that pain. I am not calling your disappointment small, but I am asking you to trust that mercy can sometimes feel like loss before wisdom becomes visible. Mercy can sometimes arrive as a locked door. Mercy can sometimes sound like no. Mercy can sometimes hold you back from what your desire was running toward. As it is written, the Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. I do not only preserve you from dangers that announce themselves loudly, I preserve you from hidden things. I preserve you from slow erosion. I preserve you from agreements that would bind your heart. I preserve you from seasons that would demand fruit before the roots were deep. I preserve you from stepping into rooms where you would be celebrated for what you produce while neglected in who you are. I preserve your soul, beloved child, not merely your schedule, not merely your plans, not merely the dream you have named, but the inner place where faith, love, peace, and trust must remain alive. Think of a child near a busy road, eager to cross because something bright is on the other side. The child sees only the destination. The child sees the open space ahead and wonders why the parent's hand tightens. The child may pull away. The child may cry. The child may believe, for a moment, that being held back is unkind. But the parent sees what the child cannot yet see. The parent sees the movement coming from the side. The parent sees the danger passing quickly through the place the child thought was safe, and so the parent holds the child still, not to punish the child's desire to cross, but to preserve the child's life until the way is clear. Beloved child, there have been moments when my hand tightened around you in love, and you called it rejection because you could not see the danger passing. There have been times when you pulled against my timing, and I did not let go. There have been seasons when you asked why I would not let you move, why I would not let you have what seemed close enough to touch, why I would allow the door to remain closed while your heart stood ready at the threshold. But I was not standing against you. I was standing between you and what you could not yet see. And there will come a day when you will look back and understand that the delay was not empty. You will see that some unanswered prayers were shields. You will see that some disappointments were rescues. You will see that some closed doors were not the end of your story, but the preservation of your spirit. You will say, Father, I did not know what you were protecting me from, but you knew. I did not understand why you held me back, but your hand was mercy. I thought I was being denied, but I was being guarded. So rest your heart here. You do not have to understand every hidden danger in order to trust the one who sees it. You do not have to know every reason in order to receive my peace. Let the closed door stop accusing you. Let the delay stop defining you. Some delays are hidden rescues that only look like disappointment from this side of the door. And when the danger has passed, when the road is clear, when your heart is ready, when the appointed time has come, I will not need to be persuaded to open what I have promised. My hand that held you back will also lead you forward. Do you see? Beloved child, I am not only protecting you from what would harm you, I am also preparing you for what will bless you. My hand is not only holding back danger from the door, my hand is forming depth within you, patience within you, discernment within you, steadiness within you, so that when the door opens, you will not step through it with a fragile heart that cannot carry the weight of the answer. Do you see? There are some blessings that require roots before they require movement. There are some promises that must first grow downward before they can grow outward. You have been looking for visible change, but I have been working in the hidden place. You have been asking when the door will move, but I have been strengthening the part of you that will need to walk through it. You have been measuring the season by what has not happened around you, but I have been measuring it by what is being formed within you. Think of a seed placed beneath the soil. From above, it looks buried, it looks forgotten, it looks as though nothing is happening. No leaves appear, no flower rises, no fruit is seen. The ground remains quiet, and anyone passing by may say, "There is nothing there." But beneath the soil, in the place no one applauds, in the place no one photographs, in the place no one calls successful, the seed is opening. Roots are reaching. Life is gathering strength in the dark before it is revealed in the light. Beloved child, there are days when you have felt buried, but you are being rooted. There are days when you have felt hidden, but you are being established. There are days when you have wondered why I would allow you to remain in a quiet place, while others seem to be blooming openly. But I have not forgotten what I planted in you. I know exactly where the seed is. I know exactly how deep the roots must go. I know exactly when the tender shoot can rise without being broken by the first wind that passes over it. Beloved child, I do not waste quiet seasons. I do not waste hidden tears. I do not waste the days when no one sees your obedience. I do not waste the mornings when you choose faith with a tired heart. I do not waste the nights when you whisper my name because you have no other words left. I do not waste the small acts of surrender that no one celebrates. I do not waste the patience that feels unseen. I do not waste the gentle yes you give me while your circumstances still look unchanged. The world often honors the fruit and ignores the root, but I am the gardener of both. I do not rush fruit from a tree whose roots cannot yet hold it. I do not expose a tender plant too soon to the heat of a season it is not yet strengthened to endure. I do not call delay failure when I am using it to make you steady. You may think you are only waiting for the door, but in my hands, the waiting is also shaping the one who will enter. As it is written, He hath made everything beautiful in His time, not everything hurried, not everything forced, not everything revealed the moment desire awakens. Beautiful in His time. There is a time for planting and a time for growing, a time for silence and a time for speaking, a time for hidden roots and a time for visible fruit. And because I know the time, you do not need to tear open the soil to prove that life is there. You do not need to dig up what I have planted because you are afraid nothing is happening. Trust me with the hidden growth. I know there are moments when the quiet feels like proof that you are behind. I know there are moments when ordinary days feel too small for the promise you believe I placed in your heart. You wake, you pray, you work, you wait, you try to remain faithful, and still the door looks the same. But beloved child, the same looking door does not mean the same heart. You are not the same as you were when you first began waiting. Your prayers have deepened. Your motives have been searched. Your discernment has sharpened. Your grip has loosened. Your soul has learned to hear my whisper in places where you once only heard your own fear. This is preparation, not punishment, not abandonment, not delay without meaning. Preparation. I am teaching you how to carry blessing without being consumed by it. I am teaching you how to receive an open door without making the door your identity. I am teaching you how to walk into increase without losing humility, how to step into responsibility without losing tenderness, how to hold the promise without letting the promise take the place of my presence. Visible doors require invisible formation. The answer you have prayed for may bring joy, but it may also bring responsibility. It may bring opportunity, but it may also bring pressure. It may bring movement, but it may also require wisdom, patience, courage, and endurance. So I am forming those things now, in the hidden place, before the door opens. I am strengthening character beneath the soil. I am deepening trust where no one can see. I am making your inner life strong enough to carry what your outer life is about to receive in its appointed season. So do not despise the quiet field. Do not despise the hidden root. Do not despise the slow work I am doing beneath the surface of your life. When nothing seems to be moving, I may be growing the very strength that will keep you standing later. When no one sees your obedience, heaven sees. When no one notices your faithfulness, I notice. When no one understands how much it costs you to keep trusting, I understand. And remember, beloved child, this has always been the way I prepare my servants. Waiting was often the bridge between promise and fulfillment. Hidden seasons were not interruptions to purpose. They were the road by which purpose became ready. Before the crown, there was a pasture. Before the palace, there was a prison. Before the appointed moment, there was a long season where roots were growing beneath the soil. Do you see? I am not late. I am not idle. I am preparing you. And what I grow in secret, I know how to reveal in time. Remember Joseph, beloved child. Remember the young man who carried a dream before he carried authority. Remember the one who saw glimpses of purpose before he saw the path that would lead him there. He did not understand, in the beginning, how a dream from me could pass through betrayal, through a pit, through slavery, through false accusation, and through a prison cell. From the outside, it looked as though the dream had been buried. It looked as though the promise had been interrupted. It looked as though the door had closed so completely that no human hand could open it again. But the prison did not cancel the dream. The prison positioned him. The place that looked like delay became the place where I trained his wisdom, refined his spirit, taught him endurance, and prepared the connection that would one day bring him before Pharaoh. He did not know, while he was serving quietly in a hidden place, that the appointed moment was moving toward him. He did not know that one day a troubled king would need the very gift that had been tested in the dark. He did not know that the door of the prison would open, not by accident, but by appointment. Do you see? The delay did not erase the calling. The delay prepared the vessel. Joseph was not forgotten when he was unseen. Joseph was not disqualified because his circumstances looked opposite to the promise. Joseph was not abandoned because the timeline was longer than he expected. I was with him in the pit. I was with him in the house of Potiphar. I was with him in the prison. I was with him before Pharaoh. The same hand that allowed the hidden years also opened the appointed door. And I am asking you to see your own waiting season with gentler eyes. Just because the place you are in does not look like the promise does not mean I have departed from the promise. Just because your present season feels narrow does not mean your future has been erased. There are gifts in you that I am teaching you how to carry. There is wisdom in you that suffering has deepened. There is discernment in you that disappointment has sharpened. There is humility in you that hiddenness has protected. You may think this place is only a delay, but in my hands, it is also preparation. Remember David, beloved child. The oil touched his head long before the crown rested upon it. The anointing came before the throne. The promise came before the palace. He was chosen in a field where few were looking, while his hands still smelled of sheep and ordinary labor. I saw him there. I saw the songs he sang when no audience gathered. I saw the courage he learned when no army applauded. I saw him face the lion and the bear before he ever stood before Goliath. The field was not a meaningless place. The field was a classroom of trust. David could have wondered why the anointing did not immediately change everything around him. He could have said, "If I am chosen, why am I still here? If I am called, why am I still waiting? If the oil was real, why is the throne still far away?" But beloved child, the field taught him what the palace would test. The quiet place taught him to worship before the public place tested his heart. The hidden battles taught him courage before visible battles required it. The sheepfold taught him care before a nation would need shepherding. Do you see? The delay did not erase the calling. The delay prepared the vessel. The time between the oil and the throne was not empty. It was not wasted. It was not proof that I had spoken in vain. It was the road by which purpose became ready. I was shaping David before I seated David. I was strengthening his hands, steadying his heart, and teaching him that his life was not held by the applause of men, but by my presence. So when you feel as though you have been sent back to an ordinary field after receiving a holy promise, do not despise that place. When you feel as though you carry something from me, yet your daily life still looks small, do not call the small place useless. I often hide kings in fields before I reveal them in palaces. I often grow shepherd hearts before I release public assignments. I often teach trust in quiet places because visible places can test what hidden places have not formed. Your ordinary obedience is not outside your calling. It may be the very ground where your calling is learning to breathe. Remember Esther, beloved child. She was brought into a place she did not fully understand, surrounded by preparation that may have felt long, quiet, and hidden. Month after month, she was prepared before the moment came. What others may have called waiting, I was weaving into purpose. What looked like delay was not wasted, because there was a day ahead that would require courage, timing, favor, and wisdom. She did not come to the kingdom by accident. She came to the kingdom for such a time as this. But before such a time as this, there was preparation. Before the courageous approach, there was hidden shaping. Before the words were spoken, there was a season of being made ready. Esther had to learn when to speak and when to wait. She had to learn courage without recklessness, patience without passivity, obedience without knowing every outcome. And when the appointed moment came, the hidden preparation became visible purpose. Do you see? The delay did not erase the calling. The delay prepared the vessel. Esther's waiting was not weakness. Her hidden season was not neglect. Her preparation was part of the rescue I would bring through her life. The moment was appointed, but so was the making. The door opened when courage, timing, favor, and purpose met together in my hand. Beloved child, this is why I keep bringing your heart back from panic into peace. In Scripture, waiting was not the absence of purpose. It was often the road by which purpose became ready. Joseph waited, and wisdom was formed. David waited, and trust was formed. Esther waited, and courage was formed. And you are waiting, but you are not empty. You are waiting, but you are not forgotten. You are waiting, but something holy is being formed beneath the surface of your life. I know there are days when you hear these stories and still whisper, "But Father, I do not feel like Joseph. I do not feel like David. I do not feel like Esther. I do not feel strong enough to keep waiting. I do not feel brave enough to keep trusting. I do not feel steady enough to remain at this door without growing weary." Beloved child, I hear that trembling place within you. I see the part of you that wants to believe and is tired at the same time. I see the part of you that says, "I know you are faithful, but my heart is weak." And I am not asking you to pretend you are stronger than you are. I am not asking you to stand at the door with a perfect voice, a fearless heart, or an unshaken mind. I am simply asking you to remain with me. One breath, one prayer, one small step. The same God who was with Joseph in the prison, David in the field, and Esther in the hidden preparation is with you in this waiting season. And the strength you fear you do not have is not the strength I require from you alone. I will carry what you cannot carry. I will sustain what feels faint within you. I will teach your heart how to wait with me until the appointed time comes. Beloved child, I know there are days when your faith feels small, your prayers feel weak, and your heart feels tired of hoping. I know there are mornings when you wake and try to gather courage, but courage feels scattered. I know there are nights when you want to pray with confidence, yet all that rises within you is a sigh, a tear, a quiet question, a weary whisper that says, "Father, I am still here, but I am tired." And I want you to understand this with tenderness. I do not turn away from a tired heart. I do not despise a trembling prayer. I do not measure your love for me by the volume of your voice or the strength of your emotions. You have thought, at times, that waiting faithfully means you must always feel brave. You have thought that if you were truly trusting me, you would never feel afraid, never feel disappointed, never feel stretched by the silence. But, beloved child, faith is not proven by the absence of weakness. Sometimes, faith is simply the hand that reaches for me while it is still shaking. Sometimes, faith is the breath you take when you want it to collapse. Sometimes, faith is the one quiet yes you give me when everything in you wants to run ahead, force an answer, or close your heart to hope. I am not asking you to become perfect before I help you. I am not asking you to become loud before I hear you. I am not asking you to become fearless before I walk with you. I am not waiting for you to repair every fragile place within yourself before I draw near. If you had to become complete before receiving my strength, then grace would no longer be grace. If you had to carry this season without trembling, then you would not need my sustaining hand. But I am your Father. And I know your frame. I remember that you are dust. I know what this waiting has cost you, and I am not standing over you with condemnation. I am standing beside you with mercy. As it is written, He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might He increaseth strength. Do you see? I give power to the faint, not only to the confident. I increase strength to those who have no might, not only to those who feel ready. Bring me the faint place. Bring me the place that has no might. Bring me the prayer that feels unfinished, the hope that feels bruised, the obedience that feels small. I know how to breathe strength into what feels empty. I know how to steady what feels unsteady. I know how to keep you standing when you do not know how you are still standing. So do not demand from yourself a dramatic strength I have not demanded from you. Do not say, I must understand everything before I can trust. Do not say, I must feel nothing but certainty before I can obey. Do not say, I must be unshaken before I can remain. Just take one small step. One sincere prayer is enough for this moment. One breath taken in my presence is enough for this moment. One act of obedience, done quietly, is enough for this moment. One refusal to give up, even while tears are still on your face, is precious to me. One quiet yes, spoken from a tired heart, can become holy in my hands. Waiting faithfully does not mean doing nothing. It means refusing to move ahead of my peace. It means you do not force the door because fear told you time is running out. It means you do not choose the wrong path simply because it is open. It means you keep your heart near me while the answer is still forming. It means you let peace be your guide, not panic. You may still work, you may still prepare, you may still pray. You may still take the next obedient step before you, but you do not have to break the door down to prove your faith. Beloved child, I will carry what you cannot carry. I will hold what is too heavy for your hands. I will sustain the part of you that feels faint, and I will strengthen the part of you that is afraid to hope again. Just stay close. Just breathe with me. Just take the small step that is in front of you today. And if one small step is enough, then let the next step be this. Release the need to control the door. Lay down the pressure to make it open by your own force. Open your hands a little more. The promise is safer in my hands than in your striving. The door is safer under my timing than under your fear. Beloved child, lay down the key you have been trying to force into the door. I see how long you have stood there. I see how many times you have turned it in your hands, hoping this time it would fit, hoping this time the lock would move, hoping this time the silence would break and the way would open before you. I see the ache that comes from trying so hard to make something happen when your heart is tired and your strength is thin. I see the weariness that no one else notices. The quiet exhaustion that comes from pushing, striving, checking, wondering, and asking again, is this the door? Is this the time? Is this the person? Is this the answer? But beloved child, not every closed door is waiting for more force. Some doors are closed because I have not opened them. Some doors remain shut because I am guarding you from what is behind them. Some doors do not move because the appointed time has not yet come. And when you keep pressing your whole heart against a door I have not released, you begin to believe the problem is your strength, your worth, or your faith. But the door is not closed because you are unloved. The door is closed because I am still holding the timing in my hands. Do you see? You have been carrying a pressure I never placed upon you. You have been trying to solve what only my wisdom can arrange. You have replayed conversations in your mind, searching for the word you should have said, the moment you might have missed, the sign you did not understand. You have looked back again and again, wondering whether you caused the delay, whether you failed the test, whether you should have tried harder, spoken sooner, waited longer, moved differently. You have checked for signs until your heart became restless. You have compared your timeline to someone else's open door and wondered why their season moved while yours remained still. Beloved child, I know the way control can disguise itself as responsibility. I know the way fear can call itself wisdom. I know the way overthinking can feel like preparation, even while it quietly steals your peace. I know how badly you have wanted certain people to choose rightly, to answer clearly, to return, to understand, to open their hearts, to open the way. But you cannot make people move in a way only I can move them. You cannot force a heart I am still dealing with. You cannot create peace by controlling every outcome. You cannot bring forth my promise by exhausting your soul against a locked door. I do not ask you to force what I have promised. I do not ask you to carry what belongs in my hands. I do not ask you to keep turning the same key until your fingers ache and your hope becomes wounded. I do not ask you to prove your trust by taking control. I ask you to trust me enough to release control. I ask you to believe that surrender is not losing the promise. Surrender is placing the promise back into the hands that know how to fulfill it. As it is written, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Do you hear the tenderness in those words? All your care, not only the care that feels spiritual, not only the burden you can explain calmly, not only the concern that looks mature in the eyes of others. Cast all of it upon me, the fear, the longing, the question, the name, the door, the delay, the hope. You are afraid to hope. The outcome you keep trying to secure. The future you keep trying to imagine in every possible direction. Cast it upon me, not because I am distant and need to be convinced, but because I careth for you. I care for your heart while you wait. I care for your mind while it spins. I care for your body when it is tired. I care for the dream you are afraid to release. I care for the promise more wisely than your striving ever could. So open your hands in the spirit, beloved child, not as one who has been defeated, but as one who is learning trust. Open your hands and say, Father, this belongs to you. Open your hands and let the key rest there before me. Open your hands and let the door be mine again. You do not have to throw away the promise. You do not have to deny the desire. You do not have to pretend you no longer care. Surrender is not pretending the door does not matter. Surrender is admitting that it matters deeply, and still trusting me to decide when it opens, how it opens, and whether it is truly the door I have chosen for you. There is a rest that comes when you stop forcing what I have not opened. There is a quiet strength that returns when you no longer spend all your breath trying to push your way into a season before grace has prepared it. There is a peace that begins to rise when your hands are no longer clenched around what you fear losing. At first, surrender may feel like emptiness, because your heart has grown used to holding everything tightly. But that open space in your hands is not emptiness. It is room for me. It is room for peace. It is room for discernment. It is room for the right door to be recognized when it opens. Beloved child, the wrong door often demands striving before you enter it. It makes you anxious. It makes you perform. It makes you abandon peace in order to keep it near. But the door I open will not require you to destroy your soul to reach it. It may ask for courage, but it will not be carried by panic. It may stretch you, but it will not crush the quiet witness of my spirit within you. This is why I am teaching you to lay down the forced key now. Because when your hands are no longer shaking from striving, you will be able to feel the peace that comes with my appointed door. So breathe, beloved child. Release the lock, release the timing, release the person, release the outcome, release the fear that says nothing will happen unless you make it happen. I am not asking you to stop believing. I am asking you to stop striving. I am not asking you to bury the promise. I am asking you to place it where it has always been safest. In my hands, in my wisdom, in my appointed time. And when you stop forcing the door that has not opened, your heart will become quiet enough to hear me when I lead you to the one that will. Beloved child, when the right door opens, peace will walk through it with you. Not the kind of peace that means every question has vanished. Not the kind of peace that means every step feels easy. Not the kind of peace that means there will be no trembling in your hands or no need for courage in your heart. I am speaking of the deeper witness, the quiet knowing beneath the noise, the holy steadiness that remains even when the step before you is large. The door I open may stretch you, but it will not pull you away from me. It may require obedience, but it will not require you to abandon integrity. It may ask you to trust beyond what you can see, but it will not demand that you silence the gentle warning of my spirit in order to enter. Do you see? Not every open thing is an appointed thing. Not every opportunity carries my breath upon it. Not every invitation is meant to be received simply because it is visible, impressive, or sudden. Some doors open quickly because pressure is behind them. Some doors look attractive because they appeal to the place in you that is tired of waiting. Some doors come with applause, attention, and promises of speed. But when you bring them into prayer, your spirit becomes restless. Your mind may try to explain the restlessness away. Your fear may say, "Take it now, or nothing else will come." Your weariness may say, "This must be the answer, because I cannot bear to wait anymore." But, beloved child, I do not lead you by panic. I do not guide you by desperation. I do not ask you to trade peace for movement. The wrong door often demands urgency. It says, hurry before you pray. Decide before you discern. Move before you are steady. Prove yourself before you are ready. It makes your heart feel chaste. It makes your obedience feel negotiable. It makes you hide parts of the truth in order to keep the opportunity near. But the door I open does not require you to betray what I have taught you in the waiting. It does not ask you to compromise the quiet convictions I placed within you. It does not demand that you become someone else in order to fit through it. My invitation may be weighty, but it will allow you to pray. It may be urgent in purpose, but it will not be frantic in spirit. It will make room for wisdom. It will make room for counsel. It will make room for the peace that passeth understanding. As it is written, "Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it." Hear this with a quiet heart. When I set the door before you, You will not have to keep it open by panic. You will not have to hold it with trembling hands, afraid that one delay, one prayer, one careful step will make it disappear. What I open in my appointed time is not easily stolen by the impatience of others. What I establish in wisdom is not fragile in the hands of fear. No man can shut what I have truly opened. No rejection can erase what I have appointed. No delay can cancel what I have prepared. No human timing can overrule my sovereign hand. This is why I am teaching you discernment, beloved child. Discernment is not suspicion of every good thing. Discernment is the ability to recognize my peace when it comes. It is learning the difference between excitement and confirmation, between relief and alignment, between opportunity and assignment. It is listening not only to the loud promise outside the door, but to the quiet witness within your spirit. Does this lead you closer to obedience? Does it call forth truth rather than performance? Does it strengthen what I have been forming in you? Does it carry humility, wisdom, and holy steadiness? Does peace remain when you bring it before me in prayer? I know there are days when you wish I would make every answer unmistakable, as loud as thunder and as bright as fire. But often I lead like the dawn. The dawn does not shout when it arrives. It does not force the whole sky to blaze in a single moment. It begins quietly, gently, almost hidden at first. A thin line of light touches the edge of the horizon, then another. Then the shapes that were once dark begin to become visible. The path appears one piece at a time. What was confusing in the night becomes clearer as the light increases. Do you see? My guidance is often like that. I do not always reveal the whole road at once. I give enough light for the next faithful step. I let peace rise slowly, steadily, until your heart can say, "This is the way, walk ye in it." So, do not despise a quiet confirmation, because it does not arrive with spectacle. Do not ignore the peace that gently settles, because fear expected something louder. Do not call my stillness absence when it may be my way of making the path visible one piece at a time. The door I open may not impress everyone. It may not come with the applause you imagined. It may not move as quickly as others expected. But it will align with what I have been teaching you. It will not contradict the character I have formed in the hidden place. It will not require you to lose your soul in order to gain a season. Beloved child, courage and peace can walk together. You may feel afraid and still be led by me. You may step forward with trembling feet and still be walking in obedience. The presence of courage does not mean the absence of peace. Courage is often what peace becomes when it takes a step. So when the right door opens, do not wait until you feel nothing. Wait for my witness. Wait for the quiet steadiness. Wait for the confirmation that does not flatter your fear, but strengthens your faith. And there will come a day, beloved child, when you will look back and understand why I did not allow certain doors to open sooner. You will see that the waiting was not empty. You will see that the delay taught your heart to recognize my voice. You will see that the closed doors protected your obedience, your peace, and your purpose. The dawn is already beginning in ways you cannot fully see. Keep walking with me. One small step in peace, one small yes in trust. The appointed door will not only open before you. When it opens, you will be ready to walk through it with me. There will come a day, beloved child, when you will understand why I asked you to wait. Not because every moment will suddenly feel easy to remember. Not because you will forget the tears you cried in the hidden place. Not because the waiting did not hurt, but because your eyes will see what your heart could not see while you were standing so close to the closed door. You will see the danger I kept you from. You will see the immaturity I was healing. You will see the motives I was purifying. You will see the strength I was planting in you quietly, slowly, beneath the surface where no one else could applaud it. You will look back and say, if that door had opened when I first wanted it, I would not have been ready. If that person had stayed, I might have clung to what was wounding me. If that opportunity had come sooner, I might have carried it with anxiety instead of peace. If that season had rushed forward, I might have stepped into something my soul had not yet learned how to steward. Do you see? The waiting was not merely delaying the answer. The waiting was shaping the person who would carry the answer. I was not only preparing a door for you, I was preparing you for the door. Beloved child, I know the delay has felt like silence at times. I know you have wondered whether I heard the prayer the first time you whispered it. I know you have asked, Father, how long? I know you have watched others walk into seasons that looked like the one you had been praying for, and something inside you ached. I saw the smile you gave while your heart felt tender. I saw the quiet battle not to become bitter. I saw the moment you chose to bless someone else while still waiting for your own answer. That hidden obedience has not been forgotten. Those private choices have been gathered in my hands. Nothing is wasted with me. The sorrow, the silence, the closed doors, the nights of surrender, the mornings when you chose to continue, the prayers that had no eloquent words, the tears you wiped before anyone entered the room, the obedience that looked small to others but cost you much, all of it is being joined by my wise hand. You saw pieces, I saw the pattern. You saw delay, I saw protection. You saw interruption, I saw redirection. You saw an ending, I saw the place where I would begin a deeper work in you. As it is written, He hath made everything beautiful in His time, not in the time pressure demanded, not in the time comparison suggested, not in the time fear tried to force, in His time, in my appointed season, in the hour when peace, readiness, and purpose meet together. I am not slow in the way your fear has accused me of being slow. I am patient, I am faithful, I am thorough with what I love. I do not rush the root because I care about the fruit. I do not hurry the foundation because I know what must be built upon it. I do not open a door merely to prove that I can open it. I open what belongs to you when the opening will serve my purpose in you. So wait a little longer, beloved child, not because I am slow to love you, but because I am faithful to finish what I began. Wait with your hands open. Wait with your heart near me. Wait without calling yourself forgotten. Wait without letting disappointment become your identity. The appointed door is not slipping away from you while you walk with me. You will not miss what I have truly chosen for your life. No human delay can cancel my timing. No closed door can defeat my wisdom. No season of waiting can erase my promise when I have spoken purpose over you. And when the door opens, you will notice something different in yourself. You will not be the same person who first begged for it to open. You will have a quieter strength. You will have a deeper discernment. You will know how to listen for peace instead of chasing pressure. You will know how to carry blessing without making it your God. You will know how to walk forward without abandoning the stillness you learned with me. That is part of the miracle. Not only that the door opens, but that you enter it with a soul that has been taught how to rest in my presence. Beloved child, there are things I have been weaving that you cannot yet see from where you stand. A thread of loss, a thread of patience, a thread of prayer, a thread of correction, a thread of mercy, a thread of hidden obedience, a thread of hope that survived when you thought it was gone. In your hands, these threads may have looked tangled. In my hands, they are becoming testimony. One day, you will see more of the picture. You will understand why I held you back, why I slowed your steps, why I closed what you wanted open, why I opened your heart before I opened the door. Until that day, keep walking with me. One small step, one peaceful yes, one surrendered breath. Let hope rise again, not loudly, but steadily. Let trust return, not as a performance, but as a quiet leaning of your whole heart upon me. The door is in my hands. The timing is in my hands. Your future is in my hands. And now, beloved child, let your waiting heart come into prayer. Let the striving become surrender. Let the ache become worship. Let the next words you speak be not panic, but trust. Father, I bring this waiting heart before you now. I bring the part of me that is tired of standing at the door. I bring the questions I have carried quietly. I bring the disappointment I tried to hide, the anxious thoughts that circled through the night, the fear that maybe nothing was changing, and the ache that came when the answer did not arrive when I expected it. I place all of it before you, not as one who has lost faith, but as one who needs your hand to steady faith again. Strengthen the weary heart, Lord. Breathe upon the place that feels faint. Let the soul that has been worn down by delay receive fresh mercy. Quiet the thoughts that keep racing ahead, imagining every outcome, fearing every possibility, trying to solve what only your wisdom can arrange. Let peace rise where panic has been loud. Let trust return where disappointment has made the heart guarded. Heal the places where waiting has felt like rejection. Heal the places where closed doors have been mistaken for your absence. Remind this heart again that you are near, that you are faithful, that you have not forgotten the prayer whispered in secret. Father, Teach me to wait without despair. Teach me to stand at the door without forcing it. Teach me to hold desire without letting desire become an idol. Teach me to hope without striving, to prepare without panic, to listen without fear, and to move only when your peace leads me. If there is something in me that must be healed before the door opens, heal it gently. If there is wisdom I need, give it. If there is strength I do not have, increase it. If there is a counterfeit door trying to distract me from your appointed way, close it clearly. If there is a premature decision dressed in urgency, slow my steps. If fear is trying to choose for me, silence its voice with your truth. I declare protection over my heart in this waiting season. I will not be driven into the wrong door by loneliness. I will not be pushed into a premature yes by pressure. I will not trade peace for speed. I will not call panic wisdom. I will not confuse a counterfeit opening with divine appointment. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Do you see, beloved child? Even here, even while you wait, I am leading. Even here, while the door has not yet opened, I am restoring. Even here, while your hands feel empty, I am guarding what belongs to you. So let this be the declaration of your heart. The delay is not denial. The door is opening in God's timing. My heart will be strong, and I will wait upon the Lord. Say it not as a performance, but as a quiet agreement with heaven. The delay is not denial. The door is opening in God's timing. My heart will be strong, and I will wait upon the Lord. When your emotions tremble, say it again. When comparison rises, say it again. When the night feels long, say it again. When the door still looks closed, say it again, because faith is not the denial of the ache. Faith is the decision to bring the ache into my presence and let me hold it with you. Beloved child, I bless the waiting place. I bless the hidden preparation. I bless the roots growing beneath the soil. I bless the small faithful steps no one else has seen. I bless the prayers that came out broken but sincere. I bless the courage it took to keep trusting when you did not understand. And I speak peace over your mind, peace over your body, peace over your memories, peace over your decisions, peace over your future. Let every counterfeit door lose its power. Let every fear-driven choice fall away. Let despair be broken by hope. Let your heart become steady again in the presence of the one who opens and no man shuts. And now, if this prayer has carried the words your heart could not find, leave your prayer request in the comments so this community can stand with you in faith. You do not have to wait alone. Share this message with someone who is tired of waiting, someone who needs to remember that the closed door is not the end of their story. Subscribe for continued encouragement as you keep walking one small step at a time. Like this video if it helped you breathe again, and comment these words as your declaration. The door is opening in God's timing. Beloved child, wait a little longer. I am not late, I am near.